Hey, what's going on? This is Jerry Fetta here with the one and only Sammy Lone for Mini Mogul Monday. Before we get started, we're going to have a really cool idea for you that we want you to watch. Stay till the very end. It's going to be an interesting fact that you didn't know from Sammy and a very cool idea that you can use if you're a kid or if you have kids. Sammy, how are you doing today?
Good. So, you want me to tell the fact I have?
Let's do it at the very end. Let's save that. So this way people have to watch the whole video. There's like an interesting tidbit. They have to hang out the entire time in order to get it. I think it's better to do it at the end. So today we're going to talk though about as a kid, the importance of reading versus maybe some of the other stuff that you might do as a kid. Like when I was little, I did a lot of reading. I did have like a Sega, like we had some video games. I remember my dad had an Xbox, but we didn't really use it that much. Like we're really more into like reading and like, you know, going outside and doing books and stuff. But do you remember the day we went to the mall and we were looking for a ball? Like we were looking for a football for the pool?
Yeah.
Tell everyone how hard it was for us to find a football.
You think it would be easy to find a ball, right? It could be anywhere. Oh, so easy. Forever it took. It took forever.
We went to how many? Was it 4 stores?
Yeah, about that amount.
We went to 4 stores and we found a football finally, but it was the last store. But we saw a lot of like video games. We saw a lot of like anime, comic book characters. And I kind of wanted to talk about this today with Sammy because Sammy's big on reading. Like, so tell people kind of like what some of your favorite books are and what you enjoy about reading.
Okay, so let's see. I got a couple of sets of books I read. Of course, I got Captain Underpants.
Classic.
I always like that book. It inspires me to make my own comics. We got Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
That's Roald Dahl. Awesome.
And another one from Roald Dahl.
The Big Friendly Giant. That's a great one. So when I was little, actually, I read all 3 of these. Coincidentally, when I was Sammy's age, I remember reading Roald Dahl, Big Friendly Giant, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. You guys all know the movie on this one. And then Captain Underpants. I remember reading this when I was like, you know, middle school, elementary school. But there's something about reading. Like, what are some of the things you enjoy as a kid that you get from reading that maybe you don't get from video games or watching a movie or those types of activities?
Well, for me, I just feel more relaxed, like watching. Oh, I said watching. I meant reading. I said completely wrong.
Watching the pages.
Yes.
You are watching them, to be fair.
But okay, so it's just better to read. Just reading the pages, I feel more comfortable. I feel like I'm in another world. And then when you're watching TV, you're not really focused on around the world. Yesterday, I was watching a movie, which was Captain Underpants, of course.
Yeah, of course.
So I was just looking at the screen, and I look at somewhere else. So I focus on the screen, I look somewhere else, and I realize every time I look at the screen, I feel like I'm I'm not really there anymore. I'm not in the real world. When you're in a book, you're actually still aware of your surroundings as long as you're not too into the book.
Yeah, no, do you get this? I used to get this when I was little. So I'd be reading, the other book we got you is The Hardy Boys. So you even dove into those.
Yeah.
I used to read those, and when I would read, I actually could see the pictures in my head. Like I would actually visualize what was happening as I read the book. I could see what the characters looked like, and I was kind of imagining things as I went. Do you get that too? I love that about reading. And so that's one thing, like for me, I think as a kid, especially, you know, if you're, you know, Sammy's age or when I was that age, like reading was a way that I started to increase my vocabulary, right? I would read words. Do you have that happen where you read and you learn new words because you read?
Yeah, like there's a word that also means likely. I forgot what it was, but just because I was reading a book and cleared the word, I now read other books and they would use the word and now I understood it.
So tell people, what does it mean to, like, when you run into a word you don't understand, to clear it up? Like, how do you go about doing something like that so you understand the words?
So many kids, movies are better because we don't get that weird, tired, boring feeling.
Unless it's a really bad movie. Then we do.
The reason why is because misunderstood words. There's a word that you don't know. So for example, let's say the word cat. What's a cat? You don't understand what cat is. So the best way to find out is in the dictionary. That's why it pretty much exists. So you can find the meaning of the word. And yet in schools, they don't use a dictionary.
No. So your school does, though, which is good. When I was in school, they would give us, I remember in ninth grade, they gave us this book called Macbeth. And Macbeth was huge, like a giant book. And it's a bunch of like old 1800s language. So they expected us to read the book. They never taught us how to look our words up. They never were like, hey, there might be words you encounter you don't know. You should use a dictionary. Instead, they were like, if you can't get through the book, you must be stupid. We're going to put you in special classes if you can't get through it. Also, you're expected to write a book report on the book to basically go through what you understood from the book. But if you didn't read the clear the misunderstood words up, you didn't understand the book in the first place, so you couldn't write a book report, and then you'd get a bad grade. Isn't that crazy? So Sammy's saying he looks his words up, which is awesome. So that's a great way to increase your vocabulary. Talk to us about what reading does for your imagination.
It expands it. It gives you ideas. If you're especially trying to make comic books, be an author, because that's what I want to be. I love doing that stuff, drawing and all that stuff. Just reading books, it gets you more and more ideas. It gives you more, it makes your mind more creative, reading.
That's
gives
awesome.
you ideas, inspires.
I think that's the imagination, because with the TV, you don't really have to have your imagination. They're doing it for you. But reading, you have to be able to think about it and picture it and, kind of dream up what it looks like.
In fact, I'm pretty sure that's what Dave Pilkey, his goal is to inspire other kids.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. Dave Pilkey is the author of Captain Underpants. That's one of Sammy's favorite series. So
another thing, also, lots of kids don't know that the author is named Dave Pilkey, and I always like to pay attention.
Yeah, that's good.
I even read tiny print, and I find always funny things in it.
That's cool. That's how you get all the details out of it. So, Sammy, the other day you started coming up with, and I want to use this as our special tip for people, so here it is. You started coming up with ideas for clay and comics and making new characters and stuff. Tell us a little bit about that idea and how you could maybe turn that into a business that would make money.
Well, the way I made these characters, here's an example of one of them that I'm working on.
We have them here, actually. Do you want to grab them?
Oh, sure. So, let's see. We got Captain Underpants.
Okay, so real quick, guys. He made this himself with clay. Just so you're tracking. Like, this is not a store-bought toy. Let's zoom it in all the way to the camera. Look how good that is. Yeah, you guys are staring at a naked guy in a cape right now with black nipples.
Then we got Dog Man.
Good. And then this is a new one you made, right?
This is do not steal the idea.
This is patented, trademarked by Sammy.
Yes.
Not really, but I will come after you if you steal his idea.
It's all reserved.
Yes.
Every right. It's ancient goo. It sounds like ancient, like old,
like
but
ancient.
It's
agent.
Agent. Yeah, like the spy. Basically, he was a man, but then he turned into goo, and the people who made the goo was actually a spy organization. So he joined them, and now he was on a crazy mission. So I'm now working on the book, What's the Crazy Mission? And I decided there's going to be a twist.
Wow. We won't give the twist away yet because you guys need to read the book when it comes out. So, Sammy, let's share, what is your process for, you read something, you see something, you get inspired. How do you go about turning that into your own idea? And then how could you take something like this as a kid and use it to make money?
Well, so the way I got inspired by this guy, so the reading books helped. It also gave me an idea of what should I do. Let's see, this was also inspired a bit by the book called Investigators. The main really part, the reading doesn't always just inspire you. It's also just outside. Look at Dave Pilkey. He thought of a guy in underwear.
Yeah. Maybe he saw his dad or something. Who knows?
But it's the thing that I saw that inspired me was just a vent. And I thought, goo could go through there. And this guy came to life.
Okay, so you have ideas that come up, and this is really the tip we want to give you is look for inspiration. This is not only for kids, this is for adults. We see a lot of things in life. We see movies, we read books. All of those started with just an idea, and it's really easy to get caught up in the day-to-day. Go to school, come home, do the routine. Go to work, come home, do the routine. And so these ideas and imagination and the creativity really can make life more fun and interesting. And that can be sparked by reading, and reading makes you smarter, okay? Now, we have a special tip, a fun fact to give people. What's our fun fact for the day?
Oh yeah, so did you know the Eiffel Tower was made with about 7,300 tons of metal?
That's a lot of metal. There's your fun fact for the day, guys. So if you're interested in seeing more Mini Mogul Monday, check out our playlist. If you want to represent the Mini Mogul culture, you can go to store.jerryfetta.com. You can get some swag there. We'll see you guys next week again, 4 p.m. Monday. Any parting words, Sammy?
See you until next time.
See you guys next time.